I used to believe silence was a form of grace. At the wedding, when my daughter turned toward me, her veil slightly crooked, her jaw tight, and said, "Leave now, Mom, he doesn't want you here," I chose grace. The music kept playing. Someone laughed too loudly at a nearby table. A few heads turned, but not many. People are good at pretending they don't see fractures forming in real time. I didn't ask for clarification. I didn't look at her husband. I picked up my purse from the chair I had been carefully assigned, third row, aisle seat, and I walked out. I remember the smell of peonies more than the words, sweet and suffocating. In the parking lot, I sat in my car with my hands on the steering wheel, waiting for the trembling to pass. I told myself she was nervous. Weddings compress people into versions of themselves they barely recognize. I told myself I would not compete with a man she had just promised to love. But beneath the calm explanation, something older shifted. I had co-signed the mortgage on the house they were moving into. My credit, my savings, my late husband's insurance payout poured quietly into stability for her. The property deed still carried my name alongside hers. We had agreed it was temporary. Just until they refinanced. Love doesn't keep receipts, I had always believed. But love does sign documents. I didn't cry that night. I made tea. I took out the folder from the hall cabinet and laid the papers flat on the kitchen table. Deed. Loan agreement. Co-ownership clause. My handwriting beside hers from 2 years ago, when she hugged me and said, "I couldn't do this without you." I traced the ink. In the morning, my phone rang at 8:12. Her voice was clipped, thinner than usual. "Mom, I need the property papers. The bank needs confirmation you'll transfer your portion before they finalize the refinancing. No apology, no mention of the wedding, just urgency." I let the silence stretch, not as punishment, but because I was listening to something inside myself that had been quiet for years. 4 words came easily, calmly. "I won't sign anything." The inhale on the other end was sharp. "What do you mean you won't sign? This isn't about yesterday." It was precisely about yesterday. "I won't sign anything," I repeated, steady. Silence again. Longer this time. I could almost hear the calculations unfolding in her mind. The house, the loan, her husband's confidence in having secured control of their future. "He said you were trying to interfere," she added, softer now. "I was sitting down," I said. That was the end of the call. By afternoon, a lawyer's office had emailed me, polite, professional, requesting clarification of my intentions regarding the co-owned property. Intentions, such a delicate word. I scheduled a consultation of my own. The external shift happened not in shouting, but in paperwork. The refinancing stalled because my signature was required. Without it, the bank would not release my liability. Without refinancing, my name remained on the house, legally present, unmovable. Her husband hadn't known that. He had assumed I was ceremonial, like a bouquet holder. Decorative, replaceable. Control doesn't always roar. Sometimes it's printed in Clause 7, subsection C. 3 days later, my daughter asked to meet. Not at the house, not at my home. A small conference room at a title office. Neutral territory. She looked exhausted. Wedding glow replaced by tight eyes and defensive posture. Her husband did not come. "I don't understand why you're doing this," she said. I studied her face, the same face that used to look for me in crowded school auditoriums. "I won't be removed from your life and expected to finance it," I said evenly. "That's not what happened. It is what happened." The room felt sterile, safe for truth. "I will transfer my portion of the property," I continued, "after we draft an agreement releasing me from all future financial obligation and clarifying that my support is not conditional on my silence." She blinked. "Conditional on your silence. I will not be dismissed publicly and privately expected to remain useful." There was no anger in my voice. That surprised both of us. She leaned back in her chair. For the first time, she looked uncertain, not indignant. "He thought you were judging him," she murmured. "I was observing him." The difference matters. The agreement took 2 weeks. Attorneys amended language. Liability removed. My credit untangled from their mortgage. I paid a small fee to expedite the transfer. On the day I signed, I felt no triumph, just clarity. Unconditional love does not mean unconditional access. After everything was finalized, she came by the house alone. We sat at the same kitchen table where the papers had once been spread out. "I didn't think you'd ever say no to me," she admitted. "I didn't either," I said. That was the most honest thing I could offer. "I was embarrassed," she added quietly. "He said it would look better if you weren't in the front. And you agreed." She nodded. There are moments when you see your child as an adult, not because they've matured, but because you realize you cannot shield them from the consequences of their choices anymore. "I will always love you," I told her. "But I will not shrink to fit someone else's comfort." She didn't argue. Our relationship didn't collapse, it changed shape. Fewer casual calls, more deliberate conversations, a carefulness that hadn't existed before. Sometimes she sounds defensive, sometimes reflective. I no longer rush to fill the silence when she goes quiet. Love remains. Access has boundaries. And if she ever forgets that morning, I suspect she'll remember the pause before I spoke. 4 words: "I won't sign anything."